What a sensational Saturday at Sha Tin it promises to be. Hi, I'm Brett Davis. Welcome along to this edition of Racing to Win. I'm joined by Tom Wood and Paul Lally, and between the three of us, we're going to deeply analyse this big 10-race car coming up at Sha Tin for a Saturday afternoon. The feature, Tom, the Yan Choi Trophy, but there's two cracking Class 2 races on the card.
There certainly is, Brett. Hello, everybody, and looking forward to what should be a terrific day of racing. Saturday, Sha Tin, race number 7 on the program. Last winner, King Opie, going around there against some fairly nice horses, but particularly looking forward to the real sprint race down the straight, 1,000 metres. Voyage Warrior via Thero. There's a whole lot of pace in that race. Something to look forward to later on the card. Certainly going to be a cracking contest with a couple of real jets down the straight. He's
got many titles. One of them is the jackpot man. Mr. Paul Lally has all the information on the jackpots.
Yeah, I wish I wouldn't mind winning.
That's one of the polite titles as well.
Thanks, Brett Davis. 1.1 million.
I'm getting in early.
1.1 million is the jackpot for the 6-up win bonus, so there's a good starting pool there. Look, there's be a couple of anchors I thought in there. There's or you can narrow the field down, I think, to a couple of runners throughout the card, or in the later part anyway.
Yeah.
But there's some good races, and there's a couple, as we mentioned, a Thero versus Voyage Warrior, and others in that race as well. So really looking forward to that.
Race 10's a really good race as well. Yeah. Craig Starr and Guy Dragon going around there. A couple of nice up-and-coming horses as well.
Yeah. No, there's plenty to get excited about, and a couple of races on the all-weather too, races 3 and 6. So a mixed bag, but primarily on the turf. Now, Matthew Chadwick, I understand, is suffering the flu, so there are quite a few changes for Matthew. Take note. These came through Friday afternoon. Race 1, number 11, Lucky Storm, Matthew Poon. 3-6, London Lucky Star is Derek Lung. Villa Fion, 4-10, Aldo de Mea. Savvy 6, Keith Young. Race 7, number 7. Of course, Keith rode his 250th winner on Wednesday night. Has no claim now. The 2 pound claim has dissipated completely. A pair of 9, Storm Signal, Vincent Ho replacing Matthew Chadwick. And race 10, number 2, My Darling, is Keith Young. So Keith Young's picked up a couple there, and we wish Matthew a speedy recovery. Now, 8 on the turf, Rail in the C position. Weather expected to be fairly okay. There's a chance of 1 or 2 thunderstorms, a couple on the all-weather. Both tracks at this stage rated good. And we commence with the only Class 5 of the day, and it's on the turf over a mile. This is the lineup. Blazing Partners, who ran a good race first up behind Lotus Breeze, has drawn 4. Gold Velvet third up. Savvy 7 gets the drop into this class for the 3rd time. He's got the claim as well. Reeves Muntjac also dropping into this grade for the first time. He's been gelded in the off-season. And then we go down to Fortune Way and Lucky Storm, now in the stable of Richard Gibson. As we mentioned, Matthew Poon is the rider on Lucky Storm. Now, the Chunfar information on the first is as follows. Savvy 7, Joy Master, Liverbird Star, Money Winner and Fortune Way. So 5 of the 11 runners have all been back and forth to Chunfar. Now, speed map in the first we're going to take a look at. And Tom, it looks to be rather slow when you look down at the form guide.
It certainly does. There's an interesting horse here as well with Lucky Storm, because he actually missed the start in his recent barrier trial, and he has changed trainer as well. Richard Gibson now, the trainer Danny Shum trained him, so that could mix it up a little bit, but if he doesn't go to the front, Fortune Way will be right there. Lurpanash could get caught wide. Friends of Nanjing's interesting as well, because he's got the cheek pieces being reapplied. Blazing Partners, Liverbird Star to sit handy. But Lucky Storm has pace in his profile, but new trainer, there could be new tactics.
This horse finally sort of came right last start. It was his first glimpse of form here in Hong Kong. He ran 3rd in a Class 5 over the 1400 and didn't have the best of runs either. So he's definitely on the improve. Savvy 7 was an eye-catching run from him. He was last, stormed home for 3rd in Class 4 last time. So Class 5 looks ideal for this horse. And Alfred Chan will take 10 pounds off. He moves nicely here. He's always promised a bit in the mornings, this horse. I thought I'd show Reeves Muntjac, because there's a few changes to him. Blinkers on for the first time. He's had the gelding operation, as you mentioned, so his attitude's changed. And he's got Zach Purden on. So interesting one with when Dennis Yip and Zach Purden team up. You always take second note of that.
Interesting that there's not a great deal of early money for him.
Yeah.
I should say he's been up at Chungfar, and we should mention that Happy Valley Wednesday night, at least 2/3 of the card was won by horses up at Chungfar.
It's a very good point you make there, Tom. Let's start with Blazing Partners. Race 1, number 1, who, as Paul just mentioned, did run a much better race last start. It's his best effort so far behind Lotus Breeze. And a repetition of this performance would see him go close. Joy Master will go in third up.
Yeah, when he came to Hong Kong, he had one race in New Zealand, and he won it really nicely at a track called Hastings, left-handed. And he's come here, and he's shown absolutely no form whatsoever. But this piece is quite good. He hasn't been with David Ferraris for too long. This race, I thought, was good. He didn't get the clearest runs either. He's put on a bit of weight, I think, which is quite good for this horse.
Sounds like you're going to entertain him a little bit.
I've got him in. Yeah, I've got him in for second. I think he's a chance.
I must admit, I did look at him because I thought that was a decent run myself. Let's move on to Gold Velvet. Now, he's had the benefit of 2 runs back. He went OK first up. He went better second up behind Megatron at the Valley. Very
hard to catch, just as one win at Happy Valley. I thought he finished this race off OK. It was quite a bunched finish going to the line. He's been consistent without striking. He rallied late between runners there. You got Curling Luxury, Sky Gem, Megatron there. He really dashed this last little bit. So I'm going to give him a chance again. He's always well fenced in the market. He always puts up a good race. He's just hard to catch for that win.
Yeah. Most of these are, though, aren't they, Paul?
Yeah, they are. And look, that win was at Happy Valley, and that race was as well. But he has run quite good races at Sha Tin before. I've got him in on a monoline.
All right, let's move on to Le Panache and also Money Winner. Of these two, Le Panache is probably the one to pick. I thought Money Winner was fair to ordinary first up.
Yeah, Le Panache, he's got gate 11 here, so it's not going to be ideal for the Douglas White train runner. I thought he had every chance here in the trail. At one point here, about the 100 metres. In fact, here, he looks like he's loomed up. He's probably actually got his nose in front here, but the second horse has really fought back, so I thought he had every chance on this occasion.
Yeah, I did. And I'm just a little bit worried about the draw as well for Le Panache. I didn't put him in the end. But, he'll run well, but just from that draw, it's a bit tricky for me.
All right. We saw earlier on as well Joy Master getting chopped out in that run first up. Let's go now to when he finished in 4th, which was at his last start. He got a clear run on this occasion and got within a length of Vital Sprint. Friends of Nanjing's been one I've had a lot of time for over a number of years. And Liverbird Star, I was expecting a little more from him first up, but he may have needed the run.
Yeah, I mean, Liverbird Star's best run was a second behind Lotus Breeze. And that was at the back end of last season. So you might be right with that, Brett. As you say, Friends of Nanjing is absolutely plummeted down the ratings. He's on a rating of 35 now.
He won 3 in a row at some point in his career.
Chad Schofield won on the horse too, going back so many years now. I can't remember how many, and to be precise.
Got up to a mark of 67.
But he's moved a little better in that replay there. Possible chance, but there's a few that have got a chance in a Class 5 generally, Paul.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to go with a downgrader, Savvy 7. I thought it was a good run from him last time. He came from well off the pace. He's got the £10 claim. Blazing Partners has found a bit of form. Joy Master has been consistent, as has Gold Velvet. 3, 1, 5 and 2. Happy to go with the favourite, though.
Yeah, Class 5, so I'm looking for a little bit of value here. I know he hasn't won at Sha Tin before, but he's racing consistently. Gold Velvet, Tony Miller, the stable's in good form. Eldo De Meyer, he's on top to beat 5 for Joy Master. He's been reasonably consistent recently. Joy Master, 18 start maiden though. Joe Moreira jumping on board here for Casper Founds. Le Panache, draw makes it a little bit tough for him. And Savvy 7 next best. I thought he closed off nice. He's got Class 5 placings in the past, the likes of the Full Bloom and Management Star. So 2, 5, 4 and 3.
Definitely a few chances, I would have thought. I will give Friends of Nanjing a spot in the tips, but a race with a number of hopes.